Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic.
I'm Barry P. Cook. I'm here to do a review of Black Adam, but before I do, I just want to let everyone know about my Teespring store. You can get t-shirts there that have the channel logo and other designs on them. Anything you get there, of course, helps support the channel. The link is in the description. I'd like to ask everyone to please give the video a like and to please subscribe to the channel and to please make a comment. Let me know what you think of the movie. Let me know what you think of what I think. And, we can have a good conversation. I like to get in on the conversations that happen in the comments section. So you should join as well. Okay, so let's get into the movie. As the movie starts, we are in the year 2600 BC. And the tyrannical king of Kahndaq, whose name is An-Kat, creates the crown of Sabak, which is known to give the wearer great power. Now, he does this by enslaving the people to dig for a very important metal or a very important ore, the name of which I'm forgetting. And during this process of digging for this ore, a young slave boy tries to stage a revolution or a revolt because, who wants to be a slave, obviously. And just before he's killed, he's given the power of SHAZAM by the Council of Wizards, which transforms him into Kahndaq's heroic champion, Teth Adam. He then kills An-Kat and ends his reign. In the present day, Kahndaq is oppressed by Intergang. Archaeologist Adriana Tamaz tries to locate the crown of Sabak to keep it from Intergang, which of course is looking for it because it grants ultimate power. And she's doing this with the help of her brother Kareem and some colleagues, Samir and Ishmael. As Adriana obtains the crown, she and her colleagues are ambushed by Intergang. Adriana then reads an incantation that awakens Teth Adam from his slumber, and he subsequently slaughters most of the Intergang troops. Next, we see Amanda Waller, who has learned of the incident, and she contacts Carter Hall, who of course is Hawkman, and the rest of the JSA, which is the Justice Society of America, consisting of Kent Nelson, who's Dr. Fate, Maxine Hunkel, who is Cyclone, and Albert Rothstein, who is Atom Smasher, to assist in taking Adam into custody because he goes on a crazy rampage in Kahndaq. The JSA arrives in time to stop Adam from doing further destruction to the city and Intergang's troops, and they explain that Adam was not a savior in his time, but instead a madman who was imprisoned rather than entombed. It wasn't that he died and they, buried him. He was imprisoned. It isn't too long before Ishmael is revealed to be the leader of Intergang, and he chases Arianda's teenage son, Aman, who has taken possession of the crown to keep it from Intergang. Adam, Adriana, and the JSA then plot to use the crown to trade for Aman, but this of course happens after a huge fight between the JSA and Black Adam, as well as other carnage that takes place when Aman is first kidnapped. They end up reaching Ishmael, who reveals that he is the last descendant of King An-Kat, and wanting his rightful place on the throne demands the crown, which Adriana willingly gives to save Aman's life, but Ishmael betrays his part of the deal and shoots at Aman, causing Adam to save him, but in the process, he loses control again and destroys the hideout, killing Ishmael. Guilt-ridden, Adam flees. He reveals to Hawkman when Hawkman catches up to him that he's not Kahndaq's ancient champion, Teth Adam, but in fact, the champion's father. Because what happened was, knowing that Adam's son, Hurat, was invincible, the king's assassins elected to execute Hurat's family instead of avenge their king. This included Adam and Hurat's mother. And he also explains that Hurat gave his power to his father to save him, only for An-Kat's assassins to kill the now mortal Hurat. Enraged, the Dwayne Johnson character slaughtered all of the king's men, raining destruction upon the city, before being summoned by the wizards of SHAZAM, who had initially given his son power, who then imprisoned him after deeming him unworthy of the power. At this point, feeling incapable of becoming Kahndaq's champion, the Dwayne Johnson character surrenders to the JSA, and they take him to Waller's underwater prison. saying that, as long as he's here, he'll never say the word Shazam again. He'll never have his powers. He'll never be a threat or whatever. But soon after, Fate sees an ominous premonition of one of the JSA's members' impending deaths. As the group returns to the city, they realize that Ishmael intentionally made Adam kill him while he was wearing the crown of Sabak, so that he could be reborn as the host of the demon Sabak himself. And he rises up from the underworld to claim his throne. The JSA arrives in time to try to stop Sabak, who summons undead demons to Kahndaq. The JSA prepares to face Sabak in Ankat's ruins, but Fate creates a magical force field that forbids Hawkman, Cyclone, and Atom Smasher from entering, and reveals that not only was Hawkman the member who was going to die, but that his death can be avoided if Fate sacrifices himself. Fate then fights Sabak alone, and at the same time uses his astral projection to release the Dwayne Johnson character. Sabak ends up killing Dr. Fate, causing the force field to disappear and allowing the others to fight him. Just as he's about to kill the rest of the JSA, the Dwayne Johnson character shows up and fights with Sabak, ultimately killing him. The JSA then departs on good terms with the Dwayne Johnson character, who accepts his new role as protector and ruler of Kahndaq. In a mid-credit scene, a message from Amanda Waller warns a defiant Dwayne Johnson character, who's now going by Black Adam, never to leave the country. And he says, well, I don't know what you think is going to keep me here if I decide to leave, because there isn't a being on Earth that can stop me. And she says, well, I can just always call in a favor and bring in someone who's not from Earth. And just as that happens, Superman arrives and suggests that the two of them, he and Black Adam, should talk. So that's the basic plot of the film. And, I thought it was an okay movie. I thought it was better than the recent Spider-Man film. It was certainly better than the, Joss Whedon Justice League film, but I didn't think it was anything special. I mean, the set pieces are amazing. The fight sequences are unbelievable. The action sequences are just fantastic. But I thought there was one, maybe even too many plot twists, because first, we think that Dwayne Johnson is Teth Adam, but he's not. We also think that the story from the beginning of the movie is true when it isn't. In the beginning of the movie, they tell you that Teth Adam rather, defeated the evil king in battle. But that's not what happened. So you find out that's not true. Then, of course, the Dwayne Johnson character, and I keep saying it because he's not Black Adam until the end of the movie, is, blocked up underwater, and you're supposed to think, oh, he's not coming back. Of course he does. And then the other plot twist is the guy is the descendant of the king character and becomes a demon, and that's like the final villain of the movie. So I thought there were way too many plot twists. It didn't, it's like it was clunky, I thought. I didn't understand why there's a JSA in the same era when there's a Justice League. There's a Justice League of America and a Justice Society of America at the same time. That's not comics accurate to my recollection, and it doesn't make sense. And why are there only 4 members? I didn't get that. I didn't think that the characterization of Dr. Fate was very good, because, Dr. Fate is this deep, rich, mysterious character, and they don't go into any of that. And I thought that was a waste, especially because they spent time on Cyclone and Atom Smasher with goofy little scenes that I didn't think didn't need to be in the movie. There's one part where one of the side characters gets hurt, and they take him to the ship that they're using, and they fix him up with nanotechnology that Cyclone uses. And there's like a 2-minute scene where they talk about, oh, that's cool that you have nanotech. And she goes, oh, no, it's cool that you can make yourself big. And oh yeah, and oh yeah, and it's like, wait, why is that scene there? They, it would be fine if they went somewhere with the characters, but they didn't. And they may go somewhere with the characters in a future film, but I don't know. That scene seemed to me to be a waste, where they could have explored something that's much more interesting, which is Dr. Fate's mythos. I also didn't like the fact that Hawkman isn't Thanagarian. They don't outright say that, but Amanda Waller in the mid credit scene says, "I can get people here who aren't from the planet." When Black Adam says, you know, "No one on this planet can defeat me." And I think if we're supposed to think that Hawkman is from another planet, she would have said, "Well, don't forget, Hawkman's not from this planet." But of course, they wanted to introduce Superman, so they don't say that. But like, they could have had her say, "Well, you've already faced Hawkman, who's not from this planet, and I can bring in other people." They don't say that, so they don't absolutely define him as being Thanagarian. So he's just human. Like that's not supposed to be. So I didn't really like that. You know, some other things that were good about the film was the Ariana character. I thought she was very good, or Adriana rather. I thought the kid was good. I liked those characters. But I mainly thought that this movie was a big, loud feast for the senses that was a little bit wobbly in the story department and that underexplored some of the interesting characters. You know, it's one thing if your JSA is Hawkman and Cyclone and Atom Smasher and maybe, I don't know, some other generic hero, but Dr. Fate is like a huge deal. And I thought they should have explored him more. So yeah, I enjoyed this movie. I didn't think it was as good as say, you know, Endgame or Infinity War. There were no moments where I like outright cheered. There are moments where you go, "Oh, that's cool," or "Oh yeah, all right, good, they got." But you don't, you know, you don't cheer like you do. And there were in Endgame, there were no like seriously wow moments, even though every 5 seconds there was like an explosion or somebody getting punched out or whatever. So yeah, I'd say it's an enjoyable film, but nothing fantastic. And that's just the way I saw it. That's my review of the film. So I'm going to get out of here. I will be back with other movie reviews soon. Until I return, I wish you peace and long life.